dreams. We all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Postal Comedy Show. Tonight, I want to share my experience as a postal service clerk with you. It's been quite a journey, dealing with packages, stamps, and endless lines of customers. But you know, my manager once told me, "Rusty, you're so slow that by the time you deliver the mail, it's a collector's item." While working as a postal service clerk, this is what my manager said about my work. "Rusty, you work so slowly that snails pass you in the hallway." One day, this is what my supervisor said about my work. "You're the reason we have express delivery to get things there before you do." Last week, my controller threw this curved ball. "You make a sloth look like an Olympic sprinter." Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "If time were money, you know the postal service a fortune." While working some extra hours, my team said this: "You handle packages with the care of a bull in a china shop." Let me share what my directors said about my work on Tuesday. They say neither rain, nor sleet, nor dark of night, but they forgot to mention you. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work: "Your idea of efficiency is taking a coffee break during a coffee break." Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was: "I've seen glaciers move faster than you." Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? "You're the reason we've run out of office signs." In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work: "If you were any more laid back, you'd be horizontal." You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said: "You're like the Bermuda Triangle of productivity, things disappear when they get near you." I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this: "You're so slow, even the postal pigeons beat you to the delivery." Another day, I went to work and my manager said, "You've turned the term snail mail into a personal mission statement." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work: "You once took a vacation day to catch up on your backlog of work." So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work: "You've got the speed of a turtle and the grace of a walrus on roller skates." Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "If you were a computer, you'd be stuck in buffering mode." Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday: "You make the postal service's motto sound like a challenge." Let me share what my team had to say about my work just yesterday: "You move at a pace that makes molasses look fast." One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday: "You've got a future in stand-up comedy because your work here is a joke." Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was: "They say neither snow nor rain nor heat, but they forgot nor Rusty." One day, this is what my supervisor said about my work: "Even a snail would say, 'Come on, pick up the pace.'" Last week, my controller threw this curved ball: "You work so slowly that even sloths ask, 'What's the rush?'" In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work: "If you were a stamp, you'd be the one that never sticks." My boss's perspective on my work took an unexpected turn when he said, "You move so slowly that even a tortoise mocks you." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work: "The only time you're in a hurry is when it's time to clock out." Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was: "You make a snail look like a Formula One racer." You'll get a kick out of what my manager said: "You're the reason we have tracking numbers to locate where you left the packages." My team's feedback on my work was quite the surprise: "Even a sloth on sedatives has more energy than you." My employer's feedback was quite the surprise when he said, "You're like a human tranquilizer for our customers." Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this: "If speed were a disease, you'd be the cure." We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem: "You've mastered the art of postal tai chi, the slowest martial art in the world." Just this Wednesday, my colleague said this about me: "If there were a competition for slowest worker, you'd win the gold medal." I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this: "You once got a speeding ticket for walking too slowly." You won't believe what my team said about my work recently. Your idea of multitasking is drinking coffee while staring at your desk. So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. You're so slow that even snails roll their eyes when they see you coming. So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. You've turned procrastination into a high art form. Picture this. My executives comment on my work went something like this. If your pace were any slower, you'd be going backward in time. It's like my superintendent woke up and decided to roast my work with this comment. You move so leisurely that people think they're in a time warp when they're around you. Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? Even a glacier would pass you with ease. Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "You've got the work ethic of a hibernating bear." You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said. They say you've got mail, but with you, it's more like you might get mail. Eventually. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work. You move at a speed that makes the DMV seem efficient. While working some extra hours, my team said this. You're so slow that you could send a letter by carrier pigeon and still lose to it. I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this. If your pace were any slower, you'd be a time traveler in reverse. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work. You're the reason our office plants have gone extinct from lack of care. Another day, I went to work and my manager said, You make a snail's commute look like an NASCAR race. So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, Even a glacier would call you glacial. I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. If there were a contest for world's slowest worker, you'd hold the record. I've heard some things in my time, but what my superior said about my work was truly memorable. You've got the work ethic of a sloth on vacation. So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work. You're like a slow-motion replay in real life. Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this. They say haste makes waste, but you've redefined it as snail's pace makes waste. Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, if procrastination were an Olympic sport, you'd be a gold medalist. We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. You once took a coffee break during a coffee break's coffee break. You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said. If your speed were a song, it would be a lullaby. Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work. You've transformed getting things done into getting things undone. I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. Even a sloth would say, Come on, pick up the pace. So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. You've got a talent for making time stand still. Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was, You're so slow that even a sloth is impressed by your dedication to leisure. Another day I went to work and my manager said, You've turned the phrase time is money into time is free. Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. If your speed were a weather forecast, it would be partly cloudy with a chance of nap time. You won't believe what my team said about my work recently. You're the human embodiment of the phrase snail mail. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight at the Postal Comedy Show. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my adventures as a postal service clerk. Working at the post office may be slow, but it's given me a lot of material. Before we go, remember, my manager once told me, Rusty, your work is so slow that you make a sloth look like a speed demon. Thank you all for the laughs, and have a speedy journey home. Thank you for being here and have a good day. See you on the next one.
And we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Hey, I may be the worst at my job, but at least I am entertaining. Leave a comment down below, and let me know what your manager is saying about your work. And if you didn't enjoy this show, well, I promise I'll try even harder to disappoint you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay employed, and keep smiling.